and also this one here as second. So I think when you want to use disabling of HP, you would most probably be running AOE disabling, because I think that that is the most efficient way. So for the Earth Succumbus, we have Spanking skill. Okay, kind of cool. Yeah, so I think.
What's going on, everybody? It's Childish. We're back at it again with yet another episode of Might and Magic Elemental Guardians. Today we are sitting here live at twitch.tv/childish402 to bring you a brand new video with a very special guest. This young man has been doing content for quite some time. He's an MMEG YouTuber and streamer and is currently ranked #1 in the arena. We have ourselves Mr. Legend to join us today. What's going on, my man? How you doing?
Hey, Childish, thank you so much for inviting me over for this session. And hi, guys. Yeah, this is Legend. And just like to have this time with Childish to give you guys more content as well. So back to you, Childish.
Well, thank you very much, sir. As you guys know, the game has launched not even a month ago. And without question, this is one of the most complicated, unique games out there when it comes to some of the customization features, as well as some of the advanced mechanics that they got in the game to like just broaden our gameplay experience. So in today's video, I wanted to bring on Mr. Legend to talk about some of the end game mechanics in the game. We're going to be talking about HP disabling, as I really do feel that's one of the unique concepts that not a lot of people talk about, but can definitely be something that we can incorporate down the road when we decide to mess around with some of these key units that have these abilities. So before we get into that, though, my man, Legend, let's go ahead and fill in the community that is here on Twitch, as well as the viewers on YouTube. Obviously, there's a lot of people that have been following a different group of people, but you are one of the few that have been doing this a little bit since soft launch. So tell us how you even found this game. What brought you into the YouTube and streaming world?
Okay, so basically, when I first started, I remember it was on my country's National Day, the Singapore National Day, and it was on I think was the 8th of August.
Okay.
So I was basically on a staycation, and I was getting bored at night, and I just wanted to find a game to play because I was off games for a long time, and I thought it would be fun to actually kick it in once again and have something to occupy myself with. So I was just scrolling, I think it was Facebook or App Store, and then I chanced upon Might and Magic. So being a 90s kid, you know, I used to play Heroes of Might and Magic 3, and I thought there was some similarity, probably. I think most of the viewers here probably had that sense as well, something to do with the Might and Magic Heroes of Might and Magic series. So I thought, yeah, why not give it a try? So as I started, I just continued playing, and I saw that in the arena I was ranked 1 as well. I was really happy, but I did not know that I was in the beginners league. So I kind of thought that, oh man, I'm top 1 in this game, man. I'm gonna be good. So I just continued pouring time in as well. And then as I grew, I would say more curious, I started finding out things about the stats, the mechanics of the game, and also got to know about the main Discord shortly after, and which I joined. So I've been playing about already for 8 to 9 months, and I was really glad that it was actually soft launch in my country, but I only found out probably about a month or two later. So it has already been the game has already been around for about a year or so. Yeah, so that is where I started playing, and I grew really interested, as well as I find the people in the community really nice. So I decided to why not take a step forward and also do YouTube content, because like I said, the game is new. Nobody know anything about it, and also to help new players like myself get their feel and their grip on this game, and also give them the information that they need. So yeah, that is how I started.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you did. As some of the people may or may not already know, as I've talked about both Legend and Vulcan quite a bit on my channel, there is a ton of great people out there in the Discord community. If you guys are on YouTube and watch this right now, you play this game and you're looking to get in part of a community, go ahead and check out the link in the description down below. I got the Discord link in there for you. Without question, there's been just some amazing people out there in the Discord community that have been just taking the time to help out some people, and I was super blessed to have met both Legend and Vulcan. Of course, both of these players having an opportunity to play on soft launch. So before we get into the main topic at hand, one of the things that people don't realize is the evolution of this game leading up till now until launch. It was a completely different game during the soft launch here. So of course, like you said before, you've already been there. You've kind of seen some of the things that have changes. So what was like the big thing that basically kept you playing the game, despite the fact that the game wasn't really ready to go for launch?
I think the main point of the game was for me to actually find out more because I mean the graphics look really good. That kept me captivated. This is one of the games I say by far the level of detail on the creatures is just insane. It was mind blowing. I was playing it and I find it really captivating in that sense. All the actions as well as the design of the game. Although there was not much content available, all we had was just shattered islands, the scenario, and then you just have glyph dungeons available for you. So those were the only two things that we were only playing in. So as we move along, they decided to implement the Tower of Trials as well, which I feel was a really big part of the game because I myself, I like to know the mechanics of the creatures, and I think giving the challenge to pass those levels, knowing your creatures, what to use, and what is required for those Tower of Trials levels is really challenging on that part. So that was what kept me in the game as well. So yeah,
Very,
back
very
to you,
cool.
Jarvis.
Well, let's go ahead and just get right into that main topic at hand. Again, HP disabling, one of the unique mechanics in the game. Tell me a little bit about it. What is it all based off? How does it work? And why is it so powerful?
Right, so as we speak here, you're talking about disabling of HP, and also it is known with the term execrate. So what it does is it immediately takes off a percentage of the enemy. As you can see here, one of the skills for the Rotten Blessing from the Air Necro, it actually disables 20% of
Okay.
HP for 3 turns. So there is a significant amount here. It is a range of 15 to about 20%, and also it can last for about 2 to 3 turns. So this is a really interesting mechanic because once this removal of the enemy HP is done, you normally see a red bar that is filled up on the enemy. So what this red bar means is that it is temporarily disabled, and once the duration expires, you see that the enemy does not have any HP there at all. So it has been taken away with that skill cast.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Hmm.
When it comes to like some of the things that make it so powerful, one of the things that I noticed in different videos that I've seen people talk about it, when we think about harmful effects in general, right? We understand that we can't apply certain different types of harmful effects on a particular unit if they have something to prevent that force or immunity. But one of the unique things about this HP disabling is it does not require to have that or that have that immunity. Essentially, like a unit can have an immunity and it could still disable the heals. Is that or still disable the HP? Is that correct?
Yes, so the good thing about it is it is actually able to go through immunity buffs as well as creatures that have invincibility as well. So this is a really crazy mechanic. I think for Rough 10 bosses, where the side mobs actually cast the invincibility spell onto the boss. And also for Strength 10, where it is when she attacks, she actually immediately casts on an immunity buff on her. So I believe that this disabling of HP mechanic can be used really well. So maybe we can show that later on for the viewers as well.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I was gonna say we're probably definitely gonna showcase like a little bit of maybe some Wrath Dungeons or whatnot with the team that you want to showcase. But as we got right here, the Thunder Deathlord, one of the units that does have that disabling ability. Let's talk about. I guess you can do a little monster spotlight with this unit here. Tell me a little
Yep.
bit about how you build it, why you build it the way you do, and why is it so effective for you?
Okay, so basically, if you want to look at this kind of skill for the execute ability, the disabling ability, it is something similar to the poison mechanic, because as you know, disabling is a form of debuff, so you definitely need accuracy here. So for you want to cater at least 90 to 100%. And there is a certain formula whereby you take into consideration your enemy's resistance as well as your accuracy. So I think it's always good to cater for a high accuracy in this sense. And then after that, you can focus on speed defense and HP to have it move faster, as well as have some form of sustainability in the form of defense and HP. So you can look at, probably here I run a full precision set because I just think that, to over cater for the accuracy, it is always good to have that plus 20% coming off from that sets. And also you can do haste as well if you have good stats coming out from your own glyphs, as well as vitality and then defense. So I say that you don't really need to follow strictly based on what I use, but use what the game give you in terms of your glyph quality. Between yours and ours might be different. Yeah, so that is something to take note. So those are the stats that you should focus at. Yeah, so this one is, I think that the Air Necro is really good. It's actually currently on rotation as well, alongside with the Earth Titan. So this one here is insane because it has a setup for increased critical chance for your allies. And this by itself actually grants you 30% more chance to deal a critical attack on the enemies. So this guy can disable as well as do some form of setup. And also steal enemies turn bar. So this guy I think is really good, but kind of underrated. But yeah, still very powerful. And second skill also helps to mute all enemies. So there is some form of CC here. So most of the time you will do third skill into second skill. So you steal the enemy's turn bar. You're most probably gonna have the next move as well, and then you can follow up by a mute.
Right.
Yeah.
And
so back to you.
And what I was going to say is one thing to kind of point out for the viewers that are watching here is that, he made a strong emphasis on the fact that this is heavily reliant on landing these particular debuffs in order to set up your team, regardless of what you're doing in PvE or PvP. And he made a really good point about the different types of glyphs that you're going to incorporate. Notice that he rocks the double precision set versus running like an accuracy glyph on the the bottom slots there on the teardrop slot. So he's getting a ton of value from the substats that he has currently, and in addition to the subsets. So it allows him to improve his overall effective HP, making this unit fast and tanky, very durable, while maintaining that high amount of accuracy. So leading into that there, one of the things that you talked about in your YouTube series is that aspect of saboteurs and accuracy. What is like that kind of benchmark that you tell your viewers to have a certain amount of accuracy if you're trying to incorporate some kind of unit like this? It's like heavily reliant on debuffs.
I kind of like it to have at least 90 to 100%, but I think some players have argued against it because they did some formula calculation and they think that 85% should be enough. But I think that always over catering might be a good thing, because some stages in the game, in Tower of Trials, you actually have enemy mobs that actually cast a reduced accuracy. So when you have that debuff on, your accuracy actually is crippled, and have actually overcompensating for it is actually a good thing, because you still have a higher percentage chance to actually cast this. And there is a cap though. There is always a 10% chance to resist a debuff, no matter how much accuracy you can have. So I think it is a pretty balance in this sense. You cannot have a 100% land rate as well as 100% resist rate, which I think is really fair. So always having this additional I would say compensation, or you give additional amounts here. And I think it is pretty good, because if it's a debuff that can make or change the team, or make or break your team, you need to rely on it. For example, the poison mechanic, you always need to land it. Otherwise, if you don't land it, then your creature would be useless. The cooldowns are already in effect. Yeah, so the skill is wasted in that sense.
Gotcha. And one of the things that we talked about privately is not only the mechanic when you're using offensively, but when you see something like this in maybe a strong stage on like TOT or possibly in PvP, there's gotta be some kind of way to counter it. So when you have seen this in the lineup, in endgame arena, what are some of the ways that you use in order to counter this particular skill?
Okay, so if an enemy is running Execrate, right now I don't see much of the teams. If you run, for example, an Execrate team, I know that the team is going to be slow. So a way to counter it is to have fast units in the team. So I want to know right away what are some of my fastest units that are glyph and what can they do. If my first unit that moves is the CC, so I want to make sure that it is fully equipped on haste glyphs with my fastest glyphs as well. And to land the CC, you need to have accuracy. So one way to counter the execute mechanic is actually to have a purify ability. So there are a lot of units that have this. You have the air colossus that purifies each turn he does a crit. Each time he does a crit, so it's a passive. And then even the water colossus as well, and yeah, a few more others. And with the purify, you know that the debuff is gone, and then probably you need to run another healer along as well to actually fill up the missing HP bar. So that is the only way to counter it right now.
Gotcha. And so, and when it comes to like the purify cleansing that particular debuff, once it's cleansed, do you regain your full HP, or is it still in line with the whole HP disabling? Like once, regardless if they remove it, it's already gone.
No, but when it's removed, the red bar is gone, but your HP is gone as well. So you need to heal up
Gotcha.
in order to keep your units alive.
Gotcha. And so when it comes to this one, we've kind of showcased this unit. What are some of the other maybe key Nat 3s or Nat 4s that have this particular skill set that people can consider if they don't have like the Air Necro?
All right, so some of the good ones we have here is actually the imps. So a bit underrated and not really much use, but they do evolve into this treacherous magic, as you can see. It's 40% chance to execute enemy, disabling 20% of their HP. So this one I feel is the better evolve compared to this one. This one actually is an attack based on enemy speed. So I actually level both of them up to show you. And this one is especially because I think the air nymph is pretty good. Because on his third ability, he has attacks all enemies and curses them, disabling 20% of their HP. So there is an AoE disabling here, which I think we will use later to test her out, to test it out. And also this one here as a So I think when you want to use disabling of HP, you would most probably be running AoE disabling, because I think that is the most efficient way. Yeah, in this sense, single target, not so much, because you want to normally have full control of all the units. So for the Earth Succumbus, we have Spanking, the skill, okay, kind of cool. Attacks an enemy, dealing great damage with an attack increase based on own crit damage, and curses them for 2 turns, disabling 20% of their max HP. So here it says a single target attack, but I actually found out that the disabling of HP is actually AoE. Yeah, so I think that she can be usable in this sense because it's a AoE disabling as well. And also you see that we actually glyph them both on precisions. So we want to get as high accuracy as we can on them.
Yep.
So those two are the units. We have actually the Air Anubis as well, with the first skill, the curse and disabling, but this is a single target, as well as this one with a single target disabling. So I think that's about all for the net 2s and the trees here.
Yeah, I was gonna say when it comes to the imps or the familiars there, I think the one that kind of sticks like really close to me as far as a non-nat 4 has to be that air one there. Having not only the AoE ability available on that third skill, but having the potential to have that first skill evolve into a disabling just really helps out. And I mean, it's just it's super it just so much revolved around that particular mechanic. I feel like it's going to be a great kind of +1 to throw in any kind of composition you take a look at.
Yep, I agree.
Gotcha. And so oh no, go ahead. That you were going to show.
Yeah, so I was kind of disappointed that we didn't get the treacherous magic evolve, but I actually evolved him yesterday on stream. So yeah,
rip the dream. Well, how about this? Let's go ahead, and if you want to set up a Wrath Dungeon team, we'll go ahead and throw a team in there so people can kind of see how it works. And for all of you guys, the viewers that are watching on Twitch right now, what we're going to be doing is throwing a couple more questions Legends way, and we'll go ahead and take a break and answer some of the community questions on this topic, as well as any other topics that you guys might have, okay? But before we do that, kind of just getting back to some of the people, we got a couple people like trickling in right now. When it comes to saboteurs in general, but of course, most notably, these units that you're incorporating, what are like the biggest stats that you need to consider when building this unit?
Sorry, for which unit again?
So just as far as like the main stats to focus on when it comes to disabling units, saboteurs, like obviously we understand accuracy is key. So what else did you want to incorporate in that?
So I think that ideally, right, it is best to have meditation glyphs on them because you want to have them to reduce their own cooldowns as much as possible. So I would say if meditation, you have a lot of them and you have those good accuracy stats, you can use them as well. But for myself, I actually use meditation more for support units that can probably do some cooldown resets. For example, your Water Holy Sister is something that you can actually include in the team. So as you can see here, the team composition is actually I'm running three disabling units that has AoE disable, and Ice Dragon here is just to freeze. So you want to have some kind of lockdown so that it actually prevents these weaker units from dying. And to actually land the Execrate, you need accuracy, and then you need speed, HP, and defense to have them sustain themselves. So
Gotcha.
Ash Shaman here is just to reset all the skills so that we can actually get faster runs, and instead of having another stall, you can actually put another stall here if you want to, if you don't have the Air Shaman, and you can see how that works for you.
Cool, cool. Well, let's go ahead and run it and give it a go. Hopefully,
All
the
right.
level one succubus doesn't die in the first wave, right?
Yeah, I hope so too.
It's good
We'll
to
see,
know
we'll
that you're
see.
prepared. It's good to know that you're prepared. Level one succubus is going to win this one.
She did die just now. Oh crap. Okay. So let's see. So we land the shield here to give them a bit of sustainability, and you can see that the good thing about execute ability is that it stacks as well. Yeah. So I forgot to mention. So you can actually stack up all this red bars together. So you can see that those damage is a. Oh man, we died.
Oh
Okay,
man.
crap. Rip the
Oh,
game.
gotta edit this out. Edit this out. No, just like
It's okay. I think with four men, we still can show something. So okay,
yeah.
so as I said, this steel turn bar ability is so key because most of the time where he does his third skill, he is immediately being able to do his second skill. So Air Necro is a really great unit, and also it gives once he can goes another turn, this one would be on a lower cooldown by the time he finishes. So here we land the mute, and then the freeze is always good. So this guy is not on any damage. He's just here to just stall the runs out. So here we execute again. So yeah, you can see the turn bar, the the red the red
Yeah,
bars on their HP is stacking up pretty fast.
right, right, right. And so one of the biggest questions I got to throw your way is the aspect of poisoning. As everybody knows here in the Twitch and YouTube community, one of the biggest mechanics that we consider when building our first starter teams is to have those AoE poisoners there. And those are generally, 10% of the enemy's max HP with the boss being 5%. Now, does this affect the disabling of the unit? So if like a unit has 20% disabled, is it going to be 10% of the disabled HP or 10% of the max HP regardless?
So it is actually 10% of max HP regardless. So I tried it yesterday, and I saw that the values didn't change whether it had the execute debuff or not. Yeah, so it's 10% of max HP. Confirm.
Very, very nice. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, so as you can see here, having all these stacks, right? I think it was five. So having five should be about 100%. But the thing about execute is most of the time it actually leaves it at 1 HP. So you still need to land maybe an AoE attack to clear it off most of the time. But I think for the Earth Juggernaut, as I saw yesterday, she actually managed to kill them off. So some of the skills I would say have them line up differently, whether damage actually kicks in first or the execute actually kicks in first. Yeah, but in this sense, most of them actually have the damage comes in first before the debuff.
Gotcha. And obviously, we're showcasing this right now in the Wrath Dungeon here. You talked about a couple of bosses that, potentially it works good on and whatnot. What are some of like the key stages that you have incorporated any kind of HP disabling, whether it's PvE like or TOT maybe?
In from what I saw, I have a friend that is running the Fire Faceless along with two Air Shamans, to do some crazy resets on them and always have that disabling ability on. So basically, he just need those 3 units and probably another store unit, and you can clear Tower of Trials really fast. If you have units that actually move faster than the enemy. So it is just the lockdown and then the execute and then you're clear for the next wave. So things like Wrath 10, even Strength 10 and Benefit 10, I think can be used as well because as you know, the bosses are on invincibility, are on immunity, and for Benefit, they have huge amount of defense as well as HP. So having this disable ability actually can clear the runs out really fast instead of you having to actually set up the poisons or even build up for the end pure damage cleave, which actually requires a lot of mechanics to actually pull off some decent amount of damage for basically attackers right now.
Gotcha. And when it comes to the topic at hand, obviously you have been playing this game for a good amount of time. You get a lot of people coming at you with a variety of questions. I'm sure you've had a random question when it comes to HP disabling. Somebody saw your run, or maybe somebody saw a video, and they're like, "Oh my goodness! Like I'm trying to do what these other people are doing, but it's just not working." What are some of the common mistakes that you see players makes when they're trying to create or develop an HP disabling team?
I think the thing to take note about is also the sustainability of the team because if you run a disabling HP, you kind of need to want to look out for how long those debuffs last, and then kind of have your creatures speed tune up a little because you need speed. You definitely need speed because if your enemy units are actually moving faster than you, then the debuffs on them actually run out really fast. So you need fast speed on your team, and also you need a form of CC unit. For example, Ice Dragon here being able to freeze up and have control of the enemy's turn, so that they don't move as much, and you are able to actually land the disabling ability. So I think most players, I don't see this mechanic being run a lot, but I do know a lot of players run the Fire Faceless because it is insane. I think that if you incorporate Fire Faceless and some poison mechanic all together, you can actually speed up the teams really fast. So I wouldn't say you can. It is always not so good to have all eggs in the basket. And for example, if you want to run some speed clears, sometimes it is better to run a cleaver as well because sometimes if that unit actually, I mean, in that wave, the enemy mobs actually have really low HP.
Mm-hmm.
Then, like I said, for poisons as well as for disabling, it's not so worth to actually have those 3 units to do something that one cleaver could do. Yeah, so in that way.
Gotcha. Very interesting. Very interesting. We got a viewer question by Mr. Borgasm89 that wanted to ask you, when it comes to PvE, which is better team for someone trying to progress? Do you recommend messing around with HP disabling, or do you say go with poison?
I would say go with poison because poison is consistent. The enemy definitely will take damage, and there is a chance for you to actually land more poisons in that sense. And I do know that, uh, for example, for some stages, um, poisons are 10%. If not for the bosses, it's actually 5% per poison tick. And most of the time, with poisons as well, you can actually you don't really need to rely on those cooldown reduction units. They can take their time as long as you have some form of I would say some form of sustainability on the team. You have good heals up as well. You have um, good shields up as well, able to survive for your execute. And also do take note that not a lot of these units actually have disabling ability. Like so far we covered only 4 of them have this disabling ability, and they might not be so easily obtainable as well. Well, for poisons, on the other hand, it's a different story. You have some units that do easy poison damage, for example, Air Assassin, as well as some good net 2s actually do land poisons as well, and also net 3s. Yeah, so in that sense, it is more available for you, and I feel that poison is probably an easier way to go.
Okay. Very, very cool. When it comes to this topic at hand, we brought up a lot of key points out here. If there's one like take-home message that you want to give to your viewers out there when it comes to this, either building or just kind of overall strategy on this mechanic, what would that be and why?
If you wait, so here we're talking about Execrate, right?
Right, right.
Okay, so if you want to run Execrate, I think the key thing to take note is that you want some form of a cooldown reduction unit on your team, because otherwise the runs will take a really long time unless you have them all glyphed on meditation and it's only a percentage chance to proc. You can see that the cooldowns for those disabling HP actually is really long. This is like 5 turns here, so you need to actually stall up for 5 turns. Some poisons are actually much better to run, but yeah, do take note that you actually need to run cooldown reset units, and when you have that unit filled up, then you actually need to cater for whether those units can survive as well. So I think that it is, yeah, like some of the people say here, that it's kind of definitely end game mechanic, which I actually agree, because it is not, like I said again, it's not really available, and you need to have a team that is built around it at the same time.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. Well, that's pretty much the end of the questions that I had. As always, we'll get a couple of questions as we go along the way. But in order to finish off the video, we're going to be doing something definitely fun. As you guys know, he is currently ranked #1 in Arena. He has quite the handful of experience when it comes to PvP. So today, we're going to do something that he wasn't expecting. I want you to go ahead and get out of this run, okay? And I want you to hop into the arena. Basically, you're going to do arena, okay? 5 wins. You cannot skip whatsoever. So this team right here, no matter what, you have to attack, okay? And no matter what, there has to be at least one of the HP disablers in there, okay? So and so basically, when you start the next one, you have to, something has to change in your composition. You cannot keep the Art of Justicar. You cannot keep using the Earth Giants. You have to eliminate it and bring some other kind of unit that synergizes with the HP disabling. Because if you're rank 1, obviously you have a couple of different ways that you can kill the opponent, and you're not heavily reliant on the Earth Giant like everybody out there does right now. Okay, that guy's gonna get nerfed. Let's be honest with you. So once that guy's nerfed, you're kind of lost here. So what I want to see is variety. What I want to showcase the viewers is variety. Can you bring variety in addition to HP disabling? That's the challenge, my man.
Okay, sure, no problem. So let's just start off with this one then. Okay.
All right. And one of your viewers already pointed out you have not enough energy. Epic fail, bro.
Oh, it's okay. I can refill. No
okay.
Issues.
Yeah, he's hardcore, guys. He's rank 1. He refills, okay?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so basically this one here, we can see immunity glyphs, so I probably need to remove that. And Fire Goblin is insane. I know you have him as well, Childish, and congratulations. So he should be in your PvP team, because it steals enemies buffs. As you can see here, it steals the immunity buff as well as lower 65% of their turn bar. So this will give me the move ahead. And here I would actually increase my turn bar. So as you can see, both of my units actually will move ahead of my enemy right now. So with the Air Necro, I can actually also steal turn bar, preventing them from moving, and land the disabling of HP here, the mechanic that we just went through.
Right.
And then not only that, so like I said, he always can, most of the time, get the second turn. So he is really good for PvP as well, because of his follow-up ability. You just need him really fast and really accurate, because the removal of turn bar actually requires you to have accuracy to land as well. And then here we can land the mutes. Yeah, so your enemy are basically just sitting ducks here. They can't do anything. They can only use their first skill.
Gotcha.
So let's, so I think we just
Oh my goodness gracious. Wow, that was not too hard. Let's put it out there for the chat right now. So before he gets into the next match, which one of the 3 units outside of the Air Necro should Legend remove from his team? I got a wild guess. I got a hunch of what it's going to be here. But let's let the community decide what's that going to be. Is it going to be the Earth Giant, the Air Jackalman, the Ardent Justicar, or which one is it going to be right here? I got somebody saying the Fire Shaman. I got somebody saying remove the Chamois or the Giant. I got 2 and 2. Let's see if we can have a tiebreaker here. Who's going to be the tiebreaker here? Shaman. Okay, first one to remove is the Shaman. So, you just lost your first turn by reduction. What in the world are you going to bring in to make this team work?
Okay, so no fire shaman,
No
right?
fire shaman, and you have to attack this next team here, no matter what. Oh my goodness gracious, you guys, look at him,
Yeah, this
look at
guy
him
is.
sweating. Do you can see that he's sweating right now? He's blushing up a storm.
Yeah, I'm blushing.
If you guys don't know, Mr. Rage Mo, he's another person that was around during soft launch and definitely knows his way around the PvP meta here. So I guarantee you right now, this young man's head is spinning because not only does he have to take on one of the best players out there, but he has to do it with a disadvantage. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, hold on. Let me see.
By the
Can
way,
I check my glyphs? The thing is, I kind of like if I could check my glyphs like immediately
oh,
here.
wait a minute. Is this what you call first world problems where you have so many premium units you can't decide which one is glyphs?
Yeah, I can't tell.
Well,
Okay, hold on.
if you obviously if you have duplicates of units and you're not too sure, you might want to go ahead and check on
Okay.
it.
Yeah, because I move around the glyphs a lot, so
Oh
I.
man, the number one rank person in arena that I know doesn't need to check his list, man. He just rolls with it. You know what I'm saying? Who is that? Are you sure that's Legend or is that Rage Mode? Who is that? Who's number one?
Oh, sorry.
Who's number one right now?
Oh, it's me.
Okay, well, show me what it is. Let's go. Do you know which one you're doing now?
Yeah, most probably is the
There you go.
Air Dragon, hopefully.
Air Dragon. Air Dragon. Okay. Okay.
But I don't know. If he moves faster, probably if it's Air Dragon is faster than my Earth Zealot, then most probably I'll lose.
Okay. So why don't we talk a little bit about let's talk a little bit about your strategy now that you're trying to do. Obviously, you
Mm.
don't have an attack bar booster here. Tell me about for some people that don't know the Art and Justice card, what does it do? How do you think you're gonna tackle this team?
The Ardent Jessica. Okay, so basically this one has a base speed I think of 83 or was it 82, and he is a turn bar booster as well as a crit attack damage booster as well as
Gotcha.
crit damage booster. So uh, the goal here is if he moves first, then I probably can speed boost all my units to move ahead of him. So I can actually get Air Dragon to land the cooldown resets so that all his units are crippled and are not able to cast their skills. But if his Air Dragon is faster than mine, then most probably I'll get reset. But my Air Dragon is on immunity glyph, so I'm hoping that his other units are actually slower than my Air Dragon, so I could get a reset on him as well. So that
Okay.
is something that I thought about, and that's how I glyph. This one actually has one set of immunity glyphs on him.
Gotcha. Gotcha. All right. Well, good
So
luck.
okay.
Don't fail.
Oh man, I don't know, man.
He's already sweating. He's already sweating.
We'll see, we'll see, we'll see. I hope.
Yeah, life is hard when you don't have your best attack bar booster, huh? Here we go. Here we go.
Okay, so
Okay.
like I said, like I predicted, he's faster than me now. So he actually lands the cooldown, reset, and blinds on this unit. So I'm in trouble basically. Okay, so we're hoping that we get to cool down his units as well. So we can see if that happens. I don't know whether I have enough accuracy or whether this units actually have really high resistance to counter me, but
Mhm.
we'll see. Okay, yeah,
Ooh.
so we managed to land the AoE reset, which
Yep.
is really good for us. So let's see. We'll steal this turn bar. Okay, we got resisted. Oh
Uh oh.
no. Okay, so basically this fire mystic is on. It has the HP evolve. Damage base increased damage based on enemies max HP, so you can see her actually really hitting hard on this Earth Giant.
Okay.
So I hope we don't get a stun.
This is interesting because you got a couple of blinds laying down. No one has any skills. It's about who gets it first and who misses their abilities here.
Yeah, and also okay. We
Ooh,
need to kill this one off. Hopefully soon.
almost got it. Uh
Oh,
oh. Uh oh. Uh oh. Ooh. Wow, you actually got the land. You landed the silence right there, trying to
yeah.
lock him
It'll be
down.
easy. Hopefully we get. No, we got good. Okay.
Did he just crit on an Earth unit? What?
No, you can actually crit. The crit chance does not change.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh man.
Okay, please, come on. All right, so we can execute here.
Let's see if you can do it.
We
Oh
need
boy.
to.
What can you do to silence that Earth Giant right there?
We have the mute,
Okay.
so yeah, we got this.
Oh my gosh, you're so lucky. You're so lucky. Uh oh, though. There's a defense break on.
Oh crap! I should have changed up for a bit, but okay. Oh,
Oh my god, this is unbelievable.
kill. Okay,
Oh,
so it's a one-on-one.
Whose wizard is stronger? Whose wizard is stronger?
I'll cast shield.
So you're actually going for the you were actually going for the first skill so you can get the shield on, right?
Yes,
Okay.
I actually got my character unit to be on the wrong. Should we try to kill here?
It's a great damage. You might as well go for it.
Nah, probably I'll go third skill into second skill. So this one.
Okay, okay.
I gotta.
His hero's gonna
I'm kind of
come.
scared.
Watch his wizard. Yeah, here comes his wizard, dude. His wizard's gonna snipe you. It's coming.
Oh, we won! Yes!
Oh my god, I can't believe it.
So it worked.
You are truly a legend. Oh my goodness. Okay, okay. Well, I don't know if you saw already in the chat. You might have already seen it. Probably not because you've been super focused on the match here. But the next unit, that we're going to remove is going to be the Earth Giant. They said, nope, we don't like that unit. We got to take it out. So
Okay.
now you got to figure out. You got to put in some other unit, okay, that works in this lineup, and it cannot be the Fire Goblin Shaman. It cannot be the Earth Giant.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So let me see. Let me run.
Shadow still says today's topic: Earth Giants.
Earth Giants.
Yeah, no. He's just
So,
like, yeah.
let's see. Oh, okay. I can run something fun, I think.
Okay, well we'll see. We'll see if you can. Okay,
Okay,
now.
let's go with this
Okay,
one.
yeah, I was gonna say so. Now, incorporating the unit. Obviously, you've talked about a couple of units you already have in your team. If you add a new unit, give us a little. Information on it. Like, what does it do? Like, how does it synergize well with your team?
Okay, so this one is the Ardent Justica. Okay, it is the fire one, and I think that he is actually really underrated. People have him and don't find him useful, but I say that he is really crazy. Wait, I need to check if his glyph first. I think okay, he is. Okay, so the thing good about him is he has a Phoenix Soul ability on his third skill. And he is once he's on that, he can actually be really annoying in PvP defense. When you have him really high on resistance as well as HP, and then cater for some defense and speed as well. I think he would probably be one of the toughest units to take down, in my opinion.
Gotcha. And I'm kind of excited. Obviously, you brought him in with that elemental advantage for 3 out of the 4 units. But one of the things that people may not be seeing, we have the evolved version of the Earth Juggernaut, which is an AoE ignore defense unit. So, considering this guy is lining up an attack bar booster alongside with an attack buffer, the critical rate, if this guy gets the first turn, he may do some serious damage.
Yeah, I agree. So he has two turn bar boosters. So I think his idea was to have Air Crusader move first, and then he could boost the Earth Jessica into boosting the other two units as well. Because Earth Zealot here is just crazy. I think his skills are really powerful because you have the turn bar boost as well as the cooldowns reduction, regeneration, and the damage boost as well.
Okay, well, I will leave you at bay. Good luck, sir. Don't lose because everybody's
All right.
watching now.
Okay, so I think that
That is the goal that we're trying to find out.
We'll
Is
see.
this
We'll see.
guy truly a legend? Can he live up to the hype? Can his name live up to the hype? That's what we got to find out today.
Okay, so we got the first 10. I think it was really close.
Yeah, that looks pretty darn close to me.
Okay, so we gotta reset them. That would set us on top already. And we land the mutes. Let's kill off one of them because just in case. This one is really good. It lowers defense and decrease attack and lowers their turn bar and also feel your allies and heals your allies. So I think he's a really underrated but a really good monster.
Okay. Let's see here. Oh, no problems.
Okay,
No problems.
yeah, should not be an issue. So we're at like 3 wins, I think.
I think we're at 3 wins, and I think we got 2 arena rings left, so it might work out perfectly here. Um, One of the things that I did see in that lineup, they had the Air Crusader. This is actually a unit that I've seen quite a bit in my super noob rank of Bronze League 1 and 2. Tell us a little bit about that unit and how people are incorporate that into their teams.
I think Air Crusader is actually a really good unit because he can be used both in PvP as well as PvE. Because of his skill, he has his second skill is actually healing of your ally. He's a single target heal. I think it's based on their max HP. So that healing, a single target heal is really nice. But not only that, his third skill is really good as well. He actually increases turn bar of your allies. I think it's by 25 or 30%, and also his base speed is really fast. So that's the thing, he's a fast unit. You just need to put on those haste glyphs on him for him to actually be faster than your opponent for PvP, as well as in PvE. He can be used because his third skill also has a cooldown reduction of 2 turns. So you want him to, I think, to move as slow to be probably the last unit that moves, so that you can actually reset all your units that actually move before him. Yeah, so.
Interesting, interesting. I like it. I like it. All right, let's go ahead and get into this next one here. Again, guys, he cannot like switch the match out. He has to attack whoever he clicks on. First one, no skipping here, no skipping. And let's go ahead and get it in the chat right now. We already took away his Fire Goblin Shaman. We took away, I believe it was the Earth Giant. So we need another unit out of these three lineups. He has to keep the HP Disabler in there, but we have to remove one of these three units. So considering how he's talked about him, which one do you guys want to see removed? Okay, we'll get a majority vote here in the first 10 seconds. Let's see here. I think this may be unanimous here. people are saying the Earth.
Is it Earth Jessica? Earth Jessica? I guess it's Fudge.
Okay, okay. They're in agreement. No one is saying anything else outside of that. So basically, for those that are, again, maybe didn't catch on here, we have removed all of your turn bar boosters, right? You have no turn bar boosters now on your team.
Mm-hmm.
You basically are heavily reliant on the quality of your gifts. Is that correct?
Yes, that is right.
Wow, I'm praying for you right now, man, because no turn bar booster, no win, right? This is it. The last one against Dennis. Have you played Dennis before?
Yeah, I have. I think it's not that fast actually.
Gotcha. So again, you're going through your units right now. Why don't you just kind of lay out what's going on in your mind? You're looking at this team. You know, you're thinking about what you can accomplish considering what you have. Get that theory crafted out. Let us know what you're thinking about here.
Okay, so wait, hold on. I think that this one was sustained. So I think, okay, let's try something special. Let's go with this guy. Okay, so if he's faster than me and he's faster than my air dragon, then probably he will be removing any buffs on me. I think his fastest unit would be the Goblin Shaman. So the Goblin Shaman actually can purge and land a defense break. So his follow-up unit should be this Air Crusader that actually helps to boost up these two units. I think should be the Water Damio that moves first. Water Damio has his paralyzed ability as well as increased crit rate chance, and then he'll probably follow up with the cleave. So if my Air Dragon can intercept this one here between the Earth Goblin and the Air Crusader, that would be the best case scenario. So I can get them to be I see the cooldowns. I mean their skills to be reset, so they cannot do anything. These three units can't do anything at all. If not, I'm hoping that we actually get slot in between the Air Crusader or the Water Dam Yoke. Yeah, so we're just hoping for that.
Okay, okay. Well, let's get to it, my man. So far, you
So,
haven't lost.
all right. So because Air One Knight here is just to annoy him.
Right.
I think I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he's good here at all, but we'll see.
This will be interesting. This will be interesting. Let's take a look. I ain't gonna lie. I was kind of a little scared considering you're bringing in the air unit to that Earth Giant fight. But hey, you're the boss. Uh
All right.
oh.
So he didn't land. He didn't land the AOE. Oh no, wait. Did he remove the 10 bar? I think he dubbed. Honestly, because if he landed the paralyze, I'll probably be dead. After this.
Okay.
If my air necro actually moves ahead. All right, so I think we got the game here because his AI kind of dubbed as well. So this one does execute as well. So
Mm. The seriousness right now. You can hear a pin drop from a mile away. He's too focused right now. He's too focused. Choosing that one over them all. Interesting. I guess when you have the other units muted, it doesn't matter.
yeah, that's why because I try to reduce the 10 bars as well, so they don't get a chance to move. This one is crit. Okay. Mute him. Yep, we taunt him, so it'll be good.
Gotcha. And for those who don't know, I believe the max amount of debuffs that one could land on a unit is 8. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's 8. So as I tested, as long as you have 8 debuffs or buffs altogether, new ones actually cannot be inserted anymore. So that's something to take note if you're running a debuffer team in that sense. So one good thing is that as you have a lot of debuffs, the enemy cannot cast any buffs on their team. So that's something good as well, until they actually cleanse off the debuffs that are currently on them.
Gotcha. And while you're finishing up the match, it looks like you got this one under wraps. We got a question here from one of our viewers, Lord Vogger, who asked, "What is your strategy for making food for the 4 stars?"
Okay, for me, I think there has been a lot of questions and also videos whereby you see this method of fodder farming, whereby you just make use of the magical stuff in the early stages. I think it was floating islands advanced, either stage 2 or 3. But personally, I feel the best method is to actually have uh, a unit that has AOE attack, have him glyph on lifesteal glyphs with high attack, and then have him thrown into a stage whereby he has elemental advantage against, so that he takes less damage as well as he's able to actually deal more damage and clear the waves faster, and also bring along 3 other fodders. So for me, that would be the fastest, and I will normally farm in nightmare stages, maybe before the boss stage. And also, you want to take note that when you do your fodder farming, it's also good to tie in with your mission achievements as well, so that you can actually clock in those kills as well as those mission achievements that you need to do, so you
Yep.
can get additional rewards from those.
Well said, sir. Soup Sammy asks, "Where in the game is HP disabling currently most valuable in your opinion?"
I think it's really good for benefit then, because the bosses there are really tanky. They have high HP and high defense. So if you want to run a pure damage team, it will take a lot. It will take pretty good glyphs to actually do a fast one. But having disabling of HP, I think works well in Tower of Trials as well. In any glyph dungeon, I think it will be really good for the bosses. And also, you just want to do things fast. If you have those cooldown resets on your team, it can help make things easier in that sense. So I think that is where the disabling of HP would actually be come into play really often.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, very, very cool. Very, very cool. Well, let's go ahead. I mean, I got to hand it to you. I was really hoping that somewhere along the line you were going
I was
to drop the ball, but you definitely live up to the name, my man. I just want to say on
all right.
behalf of the MMEG community, thank you so much for coming aboard with this collaboration, and I appreciate your time and effort on behalf of everybody out there. Thank you so much for everything you do.
Yeah, no problem. I think I just want to give my best to everyone as well as to you as well. Those people that are really invested into the game, they are really interested and want to just invest their time into the game. So it is good to actually have those information available for them to learn as well as for them to grow and also to enjoy the game well.
Right on. Well, all right, guys. Thank you guys all so much for tuning in. As always, it's your boy Childish and Mr. Legend with ChildishPlays checking out. Take care, and we will see you guys in the next one. We're out.